Alright, so we're getting this question a lot about, well, what if you're using paintballs and first strike rounds, okay? The first strike rounds chrono 20 FPS faster than the paintballs. Well, what do you think? When you go to the chrono at the big game, chrono with the first strike rounds, okay? If you chrono with the first strike rounds, then yes, your regular paint's going to be about 20 FPS lower, 20 feet per second slower, but at the same time, at least now you're under the field limit. So you chrono with the first strike rounds, then you know, shoot the regular paint. So what we'll do is we're going to take a couple readings here. Okay, 267, 267, 281, 270, 265. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to the first strike rounds. Okay, now we're over in first strike rounds. Let's see where we're at. 268, 281, 279, 281. Tell you what, first strike rounds are a lot more consistent than regular paint. But so there you go. So you see, if you know that most of the time the first strike rounds are usually going to go to chrono higher than the regular paint. So if you're at a big game with the assault matrix, just chrono with your first strike rounds, and then you know your paint's going to be a little bit slower, but at least you're under the field regulations. 282. Okay, now we'll switch it over to the paint, and we'll go ahead and chrono. So actually in this case it didn't look like we really even picked up that much of a velocity difference between the two. But the important lesson here is chrono both if you do see a velocity fluctuation, which this paint is actually boring out at about 690. I know this because at World Cup I was using the 691 stainless insert inside of my axe. So this paint's boring out about 690, which is about what first strike rounds bore out at. But if your field or your big game is shooting, let's say for instance, you know, 679 super small bore paint, well, you're going to see a big velocity fluctuation. In this case, we did it. But what I would do is shoot both. If you happen, whichever one happens to be higher, you know, chrono higher, that's what you want to base your velocity adjustments off of. So if for whatever reason your paint is chronoing higher, then turn down your paint till you're under the field limit. If your first strike rounds are chronoing higher, then turn down the first strike rounds until you're under. That way both are under. Hope this helps. Thank you.